Another session at Grove Studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan, where I've been doing a podcast since the fall of 2020. A pandemic brought me a new hobby, shall I say, that's very rewarding and time-sucking hobby. I love doing it, though. I love giving a chance for me to show people, musicians, that I think deserve more exposure. And it wouldn't be happening without the people at Grove Studios. Grove opened up their doors to me back in the fall of 2020 with an idea. And I was reluctant, but I'm so glad that I said yes. And if you are a musician, a podcaster, a DJ, somebody who needs to have a place to practice, their motto is get out of the garage, get into the studio. And that's just what we're doing today. And I'm very excited to bring somebody who, for my current job, is my favorite new discovery. I was not doing jazz radio up until a little over a year and a half ago. I got a job at WEMU in Ypsilanti just over 3 years ago, behind the scenes. And eventually they gave me a jazz program that focused on vocal jazz. It's the Great American Songbook meets the modern day songbook. And obviously the Ella Fitzgeralds and the Billie Holidays and Tony Bennett's of the world are the obvious choices for the early part of that equation. But finding newer singers interpreting these songs and people that are doing it well, that was the discovery part for me. So I somehow found, actually, I don't even remember.
I don't even remember either. I was thinking the same thing.
It's like, where did you come into my life? And oh my God, where have you been? That's the other way to put that. Olivia Van Goor is here on the podcast today, and she's brought her dear friend, Ruben Stump. Great to have you both in here.
Thanks. Great
Thanks
to be here.
for having us.
My pleasure. The new album is called Waiting for Santa. It is behind me, and I will grab it. But you have the vinyl, which holds up really well on a camera.
Right
so the
here.
one camera is shooting all three of us. So that one.
Awesome.
That's the brand new record coming out on November 1st. And by the time this podcast hits video, it'll be available audio probably the same day, actually.
Awesome.
Maybe even a little bit before that. So
Awesome.
People can find that at your shows and online.
Yes, and I have everything for sale on Bandcamp, CDs, vinyls, and a little bit of merch.
Okay. I'm going to correct you. Vinyls is not a word, but we'll continue anyway.
All the vinyls.
Vinyls is not a word. I'm going to wrestle you to the ground. You say it again.
I'm a Michigander. That's what we do, right?
One thing I can say about you versus a lot of the other people who've been guests on this podcast is when you go to work, you dress very differently than most of the folk/Americana musicians I have. And you have to dress nicely and present yourself as a jazz singer, right?
Right.
I mean, this is lovely. This is not how you would show up to work, though.
No, this is like my casual wear. Though Ruben is like a classic version of someone that he's always got something snazzy on. This is dressed down.
This is like my pajamas.
Yeah, pajamas, Ruben.
I've also noticed at your shows that you carry yourself very well, very confidently, which I think is really important to appreciating what you're doing. And what I will also say is I've been in the music industry for 40 years, and more recently, this is part of my career, like the last 20 or so years. And I'm more looking for somebody with the it factor. And you have the it factor. You have the thing that makes me want to tell people. You have to hear, you have to see. And that doesn't happen with everybody. I like a lot of musicians, and I'm a big fan of a lot of people, but I think what I mean by that is that you have the thing that could take you from the Detroit music scene to the universal music scene, like the whole music scene.
That's so sweet. As someone who also is kind of picky and tries to look for artists that have the thing for me and what I want to listen to and what I want to share, coming from someone like you, that means a lot.
Thank you. Well, let's do a song before we talk a little bit
Great.
about your background. What would you like to perform?
We're going to do the second track off the record. It is one of my originals that I wrote for it. This is called Santa, Did You Get My Letter? Can I have the first note? Santa, did you get my letter? Will I find my special present by the tree? Was he difficult to find? A love that's sweet and kind. Will we kiss under the mistletoe while the snow keeps us inside? Santa, think it's now or never. I might wind up all alone if not for you. If you're sure he's right for me, I'll be waiting patiently. Santa, will you make my Christmas dreams come true? Shaboo doo da doo doo lady dee 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 doo doo ba doo ba doo lady dee 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 doo hey boo ba doo doo wee. Beedly doo beedly dee boo ba doo you ba hoo you ba wee wee. will I find my special present by the tree? Was it difficult to find a love that's sweet and kind? Will we kiss under the mistletoe while the snow keeps us inside? Santa, think it's now or never. I might wind up all alone if not for you. If you're sure he's right for me, I'll be waiting patiently. Santa, will you make my Christmas dreams come true? Will you make my Christmas dreams come true? Boo boo boo, you boo boo, you boo wee.
Olivia Van Goor on Acoustic Alternatives live at Grove Studios. One of the 7 originals of the 13 songs on Waiting for Santa, a new record that you're just putting out. And 7 original songs is more songs than you put in any of your previous releases.
I know.
So that's a
I
big
slowly
step.
have been inching in that. And hopefully the next project is mostly, if not all, originals. But I thought for this record, it was kind of a fun way as a challenge to write songs that were just about fun topics. When I write originals, sometimes it feels like I need to reinvent the wheel, write about something super meaningful, change the world and this and that. And it's way more fun for me. And I've found a lot of inspiration from project-based writing instead of just write something out of a blank slate. And what more fun project than trying to duplicate the classic Christmas songs of the past.
And if you're lucky, one of these gets to become a Christmas classic, and then ta-da.
There you go.
You're Mariah Carey. I mean, not in the sense that you can sing like her, but that she has an evergreen song.
Yes.
That's something that becomes part of their culture
Yes.
of the holidays, which would be, I'm sure, a goal. In some
Definitely.
ways. Yeah.
If not for, anyone, at least in the jazz community. The person who wrote the liner notes, Jeff Petros, wrote in his notes that he thinks it feels like something that people will be able to put in their own traditions, and that just means so much to me because I love my favorite Christmas albums are constantly reminders of childhood and nostalgia and happy feelings, and I'm all about that.
I feel that's a good time to ask, what are your favorite Christmas albums? Because you almost opened the door and said what they were, but now I'm just going to ask you.
I know, I teased you. I love the Harry Connick Jr. Christmas album. I think it's
2 of them, though.
I think it's
Heart Finds Christmas or the second one?
I think that first one. It's the one that's got
white cover or red cover?
It's like him in a sweater.
That's the first one.
It's the one that's got the woke up Christmas morning.
Pretty sure that's the first
that one. Yeah, it's so good. Obviously the Ella Christmas albums, and also my parents had a lot of compilation Christmas records that I didn't know as a child weren't one record, but those specific, like it's almost like a collection, brings back a lot of nostalgia for me, and I love the pop ones too. So.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of your parents, tell me about you growing up. Where did you grow up? You're not a Detroiter by nature.
Nope. I grew up in Hudson, Ohio,
I forgive you.
in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, and it's in between Akron and Cleveland, though I was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan, so I was a born Michigander. Yep.
Yeah, you can stay here.
Yep. That's what I always lead with.
I'm totally keen.
And yeah, I didn't grow up listening to jazz, but I grew up playing music, playing piano, and my parents loved music. They just weren't, musicians themselves. My dad could play. He plays a little bit of guitar and can keep a beat and that stuff. My mom notoriously has struggles with musical skills.
Saying it nicely.
Yes.
Because she might watch this or listen to this. Hi, Mom.
But I got a lot of other stuff from her, not so much the musical skills and theory knowledge, but creativity, and we would make up a lot of songs together, even if they were a little bit pitchy. We would make up some stuff in the car and do that sort of thing. It was more the principles that were installed in me at an early age, then I applied it to this music that I matured into later in life.
So only child?
Kinda.
Oh,
I have half siblings,
sorry.
but I grew up just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of things, when you weren't doing music, were your hobbies? Did you have fun things that you liked that weren't singing?
I love books.
Okay.
I was a big book girl. I loved, I was joking with my parents because, so I independently printed the CDs and the vinyl and all the other stuff all my own, and I get a big kick out of the business part of things. And as a kid, I liked to pretend make a business. So when I was a kid, I would do the OVG store, and I would set up in my house or outside, and that would be like a lemonade stand situation. But in my house, I would try to make goods that I knew my parents would like. And they'll like that I'm sharing this part. But one of the things I knew that they liked were scratch-off lotto tickets. So I made my own, and I would print off a piece of paper, write, on it like you won or like you didn't win, and then I would put another piece of paper over it and tape it lightly so that it could be peeled off. And then I would, make a couple of them winners, and then I would sell them for like a penny each, and they could cash it in, and the OVG store came to life. I mean, that was me when I was like 7 or 8.
That's great.
And it grew. I did it with friends. I loved being a small business owner.
I don't know why this struck me while I was preparing for this interview, but anybody that I know or have encountered, that even whether I know them or not, with the Van in their name.
Mm-hmm. Dutch.
Yes, it's Dutch, but like everyone goes by the initials: BVA, Brian Van Der Ark, Van Halen, VH, OVG. I mean, just in my head, like anything with that V always becomes an abbreviated.
Right. And I don't know. I mean, my dad was always BVG, Bob Van Goor. Mm. And then my mom is also OVG. Her name's Ophelia.
Hey, Ophelia.
And I know. It's got a nice ring to it.
It does. It's easy to like. When I'm texting about you, I can just go OVG, and then the other person that knows who you are knows who you are. It's
I know, and
shorter.
I know, and it, sometimes it does confuse people because they're like, "Is Van your middle name?" I'm like, "No, I got an unsung middle name. No one will ever know about it." But OVG has a nice ring to it. I like it.
All right. Did you professionally train? Was music school part of your history?
Kinda, sorta. I went to a small liberal arts college that I did study music in, though not a music school. I was able to learn from some really great voice teachers, not jazz focused, but they taught me a lot of classical technique, though I didn't study it seriously until sophomore, junior year. And even then, I did a split major, so I majored in economics and music. I was able to test out of theory stuff and keyboard skills, which let me make it also a double major.
You would probably agree with my opinion on what up-and-coming musicians should do, but the business part is very important, because you may have the skills to sing, you may have the skills to play, Ruben, but do you know how to run a small business? Because that's what you're doing.
Right.
It's not just enough to be good at writing, singing, playing. You have to be able to manage a business, because unless you get lucky and become, a label signed person and make a lot of money, then you're going to be doing a lot of other things than singing, playing, driving, booking, etc. There's a lot of things to learn. So business school for a musician, if you're a musician and haven't done that yet, maybe you should.
Yeah, and people sometimes ask me what my econ major may have given me, what skills. They're like, "Oh, you apply supply and demand and this and that." I'm like, "Well, no, I haven't created any of those charts since I graduated, and I haven't balanced those equations since I've graduated." However, I do believe that growing that part of my brain and that problem-solving, critical thinking, logical part of my brain, exercising that, instilling confidence in that part of my brain, made me feel upon graduation that I am a person who is smart enough to take on that. Yes. Instead of feeling like, "Oh, I've just been doing the creative stuff. How am I supposed to be able to take this on?" I think it's half confidence, because I definitely was faking it till I was making it.
Well, you do a lot of things. Vocalist, arranger. I've seen you play guitar. Apparently you play piano. Have I seen you do that? I don't know. What else do you do? Like, what other of these musical things am I missing?
Well,
which is your favorite of those?
Yeah. Well, and I would say that a big misconception when I say I'm a full-time singer is that every gig that I'm doing is a show. And that's not true. I do a lot of private gigs, and I'm managing different kinds of gigs and events, weddings, corporate parties, doing all that kind of work, which I'm lucky enough that the music that I love, jazz, has reached into the commercialization and the whole thing of background music being classy. If it's jazz, I'm able to sell something and do a gig and still get in a little bit of practice. But it's definitely different from the shows. Yeah. And that takes up a good amount of my stuff. So being a booking person, manager, reaching out and doing all that stuff, the amount of time I spent on a keyboard or a computer keyboard.
Different kind of keyboard.
Yeah, is a lot.
So piano and guitar, are those the only two things you play?
Yes. Though I did play trumpet for 2 years as a child.
Okay.
I could not
You would not want to do it in public at this point.
I could not, no. But I do remember enjoying it.
Do you write charts for other performers that aren't your gigs? Do you ever get hired out to do that?
Yeah, I've helped some singers. And that's part of what I do as a teacher. I'm really passionate about making the world of jazz have more singers who are confident and capable. So I try to instill all the things that I've learned in other singers who take lessons from me. And with lessons, I always say I'll give you access to charts and I'll help you write them and do all that. And then, yeah, I've been asked to do some chart writing for other singers as well.
So at some point when you moved to this part of the state, you must have connected with jazz musicians, like-minded jazz musicians, mm-hmm. one of them to your right. Mm-hmm. How did you and Ruben connect?
I think at a jam session, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that would have been probably Aretha's at Music Hall, which is run by Scott Gwinnell, who's the reason why I stayed, really, because if not for his camp, I wouldn't have met everyone in the jazz community in Southeast Michigan. The Metro Detroit Summer Jazz Camp happens every year for a week, and I found it from Google searching online after my parents moved back to Michigan while I was in college. And then I just set out to meet everyone and anyone, Ruben being one of those people.
Ruben, where is your home base?
My home base is in Lansing, Michigan.
Oh, you're all the way from Lansing here in Ypsilanti today.
Yes.
Good long drive for you. Thanks for coming. When did you start playing bass?
I started playing bass about 10 years ago when I was in high school. I came up playing in the band program. I was a flute player.
That has nothing
Ruben comes from a very musical family.
Yeah, that looks nothing like a flute. It's much bigger. It's harder to bring into a gig.
I did a complete 180. Yeah.
Could you have picked a bigger instrument? Tuba, I guess. Why not?
Right. Yeah, so I started taking lessons in high school, and I was fortunate to get a scholarship to the University of Michigan, and I studied with Robert Hurst and had my got my bachelor's degree there. And a couple of years ago, I wrapped up my master's degree at Michigan State University.
High five. Congratulations. Across the room, because we're apart. People can't see that on the audio version of the podcast, but we just air high-fived. It was really cool. You should watch the video. No. Who is your bass hero? Do you have like a jazz? Was jazz your main focus? Always?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Jazz bass. Yeah. Well, I that's really tough to tell.
It could be more than one person.
Yes.
Okay.
I have many musical heroes, not even, just also beyond bass players. But some of my top bass players would be Oscar Pettiford, Ray Brown, and of course Robert Hurst and Rodney Whitaker.
You should try to model your career after Christian McBride, because how many records is he on?
Right.
Oh my gosh. What a resume.
He too. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jeez, oh Pete. I mean, the folk equivalent and pop equivalent, I guess, is why am I drawing a blank on his name? Long white beard guy, played with James Taylor, played with Phil Collins. I've been in a room with him at one point. Oh my gosh, my brain doesn't work today.
Leland
Sklar. Thank you very much. Yes.
Nice.
Like, you look at his resume, like, you've done everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I can't believe. So a bass is actually a good instrument to pick because you get to do a lot of things.
Oh, yes. And bassists are always needed.
Correct.
Right.
Well, thank you for joining us today. And why don't you play something on the bass and have this lovely lady sing? What will the next song be?
Let's do holiday traditions.
Okay.
So this is the one that Ruben and I wrote together. The tradition that we're speaking of, and actually Ruben sings on it too, is the tradition as a working musician on the holidays not being able to participate in any holidays. That is the tradition. Every year. I look forward to it. How about Can't meet your family on Thanksgiving Day.
No cranberry sauce, no Cabernet.
Oh no. I gotta get paid, you dig. I gotta make the gig. won't hang a stocking or sit by the fire.
Christmas songs are what people desire. Ho ho. If Santa could bring some bread, I would be home in bed.
You don't understand, I've got a plan to work on every holiday.
Maybe some year you'd be my dear. Till then, I'll see you on
Monday. No chance of ringing the year with a kiss.
New Year's Eve is a job I can't miss.
Uh-oh. I have a tradition too. This is what musicians do every year.
Beep, beep, ba-dee, ba-dee, boom, ba-dee.
Hey.
Beep, boop, beep, ba-dee, ba-dee, boop, beep, ba-dee, 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 doo.
Boo, 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 wee, dee, 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 doo, wee, dee, ah, boo, boo, wee, dee, ah.
Boop, beep, beep, boop, 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 doo, boop, boop.
Wee, boo, wee, wee. Shaboo, boo, wee, 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 bee, boo, boo, doo, doo, dee, doo, doo, boo, wee.
Boo, beep, beep, dee, 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 boop, wee, dee, 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 boop, dee, dee.
Shoo, wee, dee, oh, dee, boo, boo, wee, dee, 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 way down.
Ba-doo, ba-doo, dee,
Wee,
dee,
dee,
dee.
doo, bop, wee. Hey, oh, ba, doo, 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 da, dee, doo, wee.
Ba-doo, bee, dee, boop, 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 ba-doo, dee, ba-doo, da-doo, da.
Hey. You don't understand, I've got a plan to work on every holiday.
Maybe some year you'd be my dear. Till then, I'll see you on Monday.
No chance of ringing the year with a kiss.
New Year's Eve is a job I can't miss.
Uh-oh. I have
A tradition too. This is what musicians do every year.
New music from Olivia Van Goor and her new record, which is called Waiting for Santa, holding it up to one of the cameras. I'm not sure which one can see it. If you're listening, you can't see it at all. It's one of the originals that is on
It's
this
really
record.
cute, though.
It's very cute.
It's got my cute dog on it.
It does. What's the dog's name?
Murphy.
Hey, Murphy. What's happening to Murph? I love dogs. That is one that is holiday traditions, a musician's favorite, future favorite song, because they can relate to it more than those of us who don't necessarily have to work on holidays. In fact, as a mobile disc jockey, I always turn down the holidays. I know it's extra money, but I'm like, nope, not worth it. Thanks, though. I need my day off. But
Maybe
you guys,
someday.
yeah, you guys have to take the gigs that come, so you get what you get, right?
Totally.
We're at Grove Studios in Ypsilanti, the home of the podcast for 5+ years. GroveStudios.space is the website if you want to see the various rooms that are available to have your practice in, or like me, do a podcast in. If you watch older podcasts from 4 years ago, even, you'll see me in a different room down the hall where a podcast studio used to set up. That is now a practice space. In between, there is a room, I think that's where the DJ room is now, so you can bring your DJ skills in here and mix and do as loud as you want, and no one in the apartment complex over there is going to hear you, and no one in the tow truck company over there is going to hear you. Get out of the garage, get into the studio is their motto. So it's a great place to make noise. And I showed you guys 2 of the rooms, but there are more. So if you need a small space to practice and you want to do it at 3 a.m, guess what? 24/7 operation, keypad, whenever you want. It's a cool place.
Awesome.
We're grateful to Grove for their participation in the evolution of acoustic alternatives, without question. So Olivia has, at this time now, I'm holding 4 different CDs. One of them is hard to find, but we start with the first one back in 2021.
Yes.
Little EP called When the Shadows Fall. Tell me about making this real quick.
First recording, learned a lot. There's a lot I could say about it.
I almost brought you candy because of Hershey Bar.
Yeah. So the only original aspect of it, other than the arrangements, is the lyrics on Hershey Bar. But even that was a old song that I found, and
You
it
wrote it?
was
You
the
wrote
lyrics.
yeah.
But yeah, it was an experiment on how to do this, and also having something that I could share with people, with venues, to legitimize myself as an artist, and also start to dip my toe into who I am from an artistic point of view. So it had a lot of goals and a lot of things that I learned from it.
As somebody who is in an age bracket that I don't actually expect owns a CD player, thank you for choosing CDs.
Though.
You do, though. But why did you choose to put things out on CD? I'm holding physical product, and I love it.
So actually, it was mostly because I knew if I wanted to be played on radio, that would be the best way.
It turns out jazz radio, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe not pop radio, but you're not really going for pop radio.
No, not going for that.
They're probably just as happy to get a digital file versus a CD. But
And I forget who, either I looked it up or I was just perusing radio stations because I honestly had no clue how this all worked. But I also had my mentors. I obviously knew that they were giving me CDs because it was from 10, 15, 20 years ago. So that's when CDs were more useful. Yeah. But I thought, I'm part of this community and everyone seems to be sharing CDs. And I didn't know what else to do. I didn't have, how do I sell stuff? And I noticed that people were still buying CDs. I think I went to some jazz singers show, or maybe it was even at the Detroit Jazz Festival in 2019, seeing Veronica Swift and buying her CD. And I was like, well, okay, if I'm buying a CD, then maybe some other people are buying CDs. So I'm just going to print, I think I printed 500 and gave a good amount of them for radio play. And then the rest I was able to sell. So people will buy them. I don't know if everyone has the same reasoning. Some it's just something to hold, something to have to feel like you bought something, and then maybe they listen to it somehow else. But
my other multiple guest, Brian Vander Ark, who's been here a couple times, lead singer of the Verve Pipe. We've talked about this in the past, and he basically calls it an expensive business card because he gives a lot of them away, but it is a way for people to remember, oh, that's right, Brian, because he also was solo for a good period of time when the Verve Pipe broke up. So for that point, it was like the Verve Pipe had a big hit. You knew their name. You didn't necessarily know the lead singer's name. So here's my CD. Remember,
it legitimizes.
Yes, it does.
Even if it's not even used for the intended purpose. And that's really what I was just trying for anything that would legitimize myself.
He's been in my car for the last several days getting ready to talk to you, so I'm excited. Second release, 7 songs. 7 song, is that an EP or an LP? It's kind of in the middle.
Yeah,
it's
I
neither
don't know.
really. EP is usually 5 songs, and then I guess 7 kind of qualifies for me as an LP, but it's not really that long, so
right.
I don't know. Anyway, excellent release. Don't be mad at me. Love this one. I think this is the first one I heard, and this was 2023, as I mentioned.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about putting this one together.
So at that point, I had done a lot of growing as a singer and as a musician, and I knew that I was developing more and more, and I wanted to update myself. So everything I learned from the first release, I applied, and then I tried even more things and tried it at a bigger level, printed more CDs, planned more ahead, more reaching out to people ahead of time. There's 2 originals on there, so that was me dipping my toe into that. A little bit more collaboration on that one, but
get some pretty good press on this one too. There's some clips and articles and things. Yeah, so you did something right.
Yep, grows every time.
Yep. Then there's this weird one that's just kind of hard to find with the Henry Ford Big Band. Unless you're smart, you don't know how to get this one. No, I'm not insulting people. I'm just saying. This one is a cool one, only available through the Henry Ford College.
I have a few copies as well.
So sometimes at your shows.
Sometimes at my shows, depending on which bag I grab. And I also think I will use them for a while because they gave me a good amount of copies to use for my own stuff, maybe as giveaways or parts of, I got some extra, exclusive stuff. So, but yeah, they put that all together. That was a show that we did. So
this was a chance to sing in front of a big band like some of your idols, I'm sure, and get a recording of it and have it permanently there. And you've been doing other shows with them, right? You did one last year.
Yeah, and I have one coming up in December.
Do you know the date?
December 14th at Narden Park Church in Farmington Hills.
Okay, don't know where that is.
And it's the holiday big band show of my tour for this record. And it will have the house band or the rhythm section, including Ruben from the record, Waiting for Santa as well. And we're going to switch on and off big band song, quartet song, big band song, quartet song, mix everyone in between, big party type of thing.
You have been, I mentioned you play guitar, and I saw you do that at a Joni Mitchell tribute show, which I was quite surprised that you were doing, but so happy you did because you nailed those songs, and I learned you weren't even really a Joni fan, which is so cool. But that made me, in my head, say, when I'm interviewing Olivia, I'm going to have to ask her about how much time prep goes into a show, like especially that one where you knew nothing, but like even just a regular show, you may not know all the songs you're singing.
Yeah, well, every show I have a process where I have currently a couple of papers that I keep because I really got to get my stuff out of my brain and onto paper. And if I do it all digitally, I don't like it. So for every big show that I do, not every gig, but every show, I have like a plan sheet, and I will pull out and start writing out all the ones for future gigs. I'll write the set list so I can see basically what music for the next 2 months I have to worry about. So right now, actually, my newer or my most unfamiliar music that I'm working on is for a show mid-November in Saugatuck at the Saugatuck Center for the Arts. That's all music from Brazil, which is also kind of not my wheelhouse at all.
Jobim, I'm sure, is in there.
Lots of Jobim, some Yvonne Lins, some stuff in between, and it's all totally new to me, and that's been front of mind. So I will make a plan of, I gotta get to this level with these songs by this time. How difficult are these songs? Should I make a playlist that I can just put on in the car to constantly listen to? I have in December on the 7th at Carytown the Ella Fitzgerald show, so I have that also that I'm thinking through.
I have a ticket for that one.
Yeah, Ruben will be there.
All right, woohoo! I thought
And yeah, and just for every gig, and then of course the ones where I just know I'm gonna already know all the music, just like the back of my hand. I won't worry too much about. But I always joke that creating set lists for me is a very meditative thing. I have to sit. I print out lead sheets for every single song that I've ever learned. I print out lead sheets and I put them in plastic dividers. And then I have at least at this point 6 binders that total A through D, E through G. You know, all the I songs have one binder. There's a lot of I songs. And I will make a set list by going through everything, remembering what I've been working on, pulling this, that, and imagining how the flow will go. And I'm sure I look like a crazy person when I'm doing it. But
so for an hour or 2 hour gig, you've spent at least 24 putting the show together.
Yes.
Not mentioning driving there back. And
yes.
All the, yeah.
And laying in bed thinking about it.
Yeah. Ruben, how's your process for preparing for a show? Do you usually just come in with charts, or do you know the songs when you get there?
Oh, it's very similar, and it also depends on the project that I'm doing, because like Olivia, sometimes I will, want to explore maybe a particular artist or a concept, and so I will, create arrangements or create charts based around that. Otherwise, for projects where it's just standards, there's so many amazing tunes out there. Oh, yeah. It's so hard for me to choose. So typically I'll just go with what I've really been loving at that recent moment in time.
I know you have a record of your own. Who else do you play with besides when you do your own shows? Olivia's obviously one of your regulars.
Yeah, absolutely.
You must play with other people.
Oh yeah. People like Olivia, people from all over the state and, the Midwest, especially given that Michigan State University is in my backyard, basically. I collaborate a lot with Randy Napoleon.
First person that came to mind.
Yeah, and then a lot of the, other professors there, and a lot of the students that come out of the school as well.
Cool. Olivia, when you're not preparing for a show, do you actually spend time just listening to music to enjoy? Do you even get time to listen to music to enjoy?
That's a really great question.
I sent you some music from Erin the other day.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, I wonder if she's going to like this. I don't know.
did.
Does she even have time to listen to something like that?
I always have time. I'm working on making sure that I don't let myself get too burnt out before I get burnt out.
Oh.
I have recently made myself aware of the warning signs of being burnt out from listening to music. And when that happens...
That happens?
Oh my God, yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
I have music on all the time. Talking to you right now is me not hearing music. That's
Well, I don't know if it's just a when I'm playing and then after a gig, like I can't listen to music. It's like my ears are ringing from just
friends.
Creative.
I'm just kidding.
Great, like, and I know some people who can.
I know,
but I always need a break from it. I love podcasts and I love listening to interviews because of that reason to have something else.
I know a podcast you could listen to.
Mm-hmm.
It's called. Oh, never mind. You know what it's called.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, you know what it's called. But yeah, I do find I try to remind myself why I love this music. And when I feel burnt out, then that's when I go to listen to the stuff that made me love this music in the first place. The classic records for me.
Name them.
All the Sarah Vaughan records. Anita O'Day. I'll go back to Anita O'Day live at Mr. Kelly's whenever I need a reminder of the fun in all of this and all the stuff I can sing along to. If I'm really feeling a little bit burnt out from jazz stuff, I'll go listen to the first music that I really loved as a teenager, which was Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, nice.
I'll go back to listen to some Beatles. I'll go back and listen to a whole assortment of songs that I remember from childhood. And then, yeah, it really depends on what kind of funk I'm in. But
favorite Dave song?
Ooh.
That's easy for me. It's Ants Marching. For me, it's just think, dum, and then crash.
I would say... So my favorite album is oh my gosh, why can't you put me on the spot?
Boo.
You put me on the spot. Why can't I think of what it's called?
Early or late?
It's the one that has the coffee ring stains on
Under the Table and Dreaming?
No, that's
Oh, yeah.
That's the circus thing.
Crash.
No, it's got Crush on it. It's got
yeah, that one.
You scared it out of me.
Boo. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite Beatles song? That's
Ooh.
too hard.
Well, favorite Beatles album, Revolver.
Okay, Revolver, Rubber Soul. I'm torn in between the two, so that's my favorite era of the Beatles.
Oh my gosh, why can't I think of
I'm drawing a blank.
Take myself.
That's okay.
Yeah, you scared it out of me.
All right. How much time do you spend on the boring stuff, the booking stuff?
So much, too much.
So you want to farm that out at some point. You want to get big enough where you can hire somebody to do that.
Yes, I do.
I totally think you deserve that.
Except I don't know if by that time I'm going to be too invested in making sure it's perfect because You're
good at it.
Yeah,
this is what I've really noticed about you is that you're really good at it. And if somebody takes the time to look at your schedule, you have more gigs than the average person. So you're doing something right, which is another reason why you have that.
Before These Crowded Streets. Sorry,
right.
I just remembered the
that's
album.
Good. That's one of the things that impresses me about you, other than your talent is there, but you have the thing. Like you are able to succeed at booking. Look at all the gigs you just mentioned: a Brazil gig, an Ella gig, a Christmas gig. Like there's, other than them being you, I'm not sure they have much in common. A big band gig. I mean, you're doing so much.
The thing that a lot of it has in common, though, is it's a connection that I built with someone or a venue. So getting that Henry Ford big band gig is because we've done a gig before, and I don't leave that gig without saying, hey, when's the next one?
You are so smart.
Pro tip. And
Ruben, did you hear that?
That goes. Write that down.
He's got an album out that has you singing on it. And I play that duet quite often, actually.
Yes.
It's a really great version of that song.
Yes. But yeah, that's what I do. And same with every venue. And then I think that's the best way to build it, because then if you're going to have all these, as long as I want to continue a collaboration, which most of the time, yes, then it starts to build. And then I've noticed as I've grown, then I can book farther out in my schedule. And I used to go month to month, and now I can go quarter to quarter or even half a year out and have a good idea of things and set that motion even more.
Earlier today, and this will not be relevant if people are listening to this after we record it, but earlier today, you took part in something that my radio station had put on, and I'd already had a question that I was going to ask about choosing songs that you choose to cover, but we also in that discussion had a reference to the younger generation of music listener. So I'm wondering, as a singer wanting to appeal to everybody, do you ever think about trying to cover songs that appeal to a 20-year-old? Like, do you want them in your? Do you don't want them at your shows yet? You want to wait till they're ready for you?
No, I mean,
because you're not that old.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
your contemporaries probably, like people your age, probably don't listen to jazz.
That is correct. Though there are quite a few. And I try to check myself as far as what I'm willing to do in terms of changing myself as an artist to fit whatever I think someone likes. If I had $1 for how many times some random person has come up to me and their first thing that they say after seeing a show is not, "Hi, my name is Susie, I loved it." Their first thing is, "Hey, I have a suggestion for you." And then it's something that I have no interest in doing, and I don't know what to say to that.
You want to be a traditional jazz singer.
Yeah. Or even just, I don't know. It's like I'll kind of go wherever the artist brain is. But then my manager brain is thinking, okay, I have this artist that can tick certain boxes that are gateways for more of the general public to access. So an example is doing themed shows. So I got a lot of traction from doing a music from the movies show with the Henry Ford Big Band at a movie theater.
I went to that one.
Yeah. And there were quite a few younger people there. Mm-hmm. And then I find the more summer concert series that I do, more people of all ages happen upon me.
It's free, so they
exactly.
Can show up.
And it's not, sometimes the label even of who I am as a genre will deter people. It's kind of like when you are scrolling through movies and you just see a glimpse of it and you already have an idea if you are going to like it or not, instead of just watching the movie or happening upon it on cable or something. I find getting people to walk by and they're like, "Oh, Over the Rainbow, I love that song." And then I trick them into listening to,
surely about,
you know, exactly. You guys see what I'm doing.
I do see what you're doing. That's awesome. And I just thought about
it's all
how,
a trick.
what you're just saying about playing like the outdoor festival type things, not festivals, but municipalities, is as much as you and I love shows at the Blue Llama, it's a barrier to entry for people discovering you. You are going there specifically to see you, and you're paying a premium to do so. If you're not going to discover Olivia at the Blue Llama unless you're looking for a really nice night out.
Yes.
But if you're hanging out with your family in the summer and you're like, "Oh, this sounds good, I'm going to sit and watch it," then they can fall in love with you and maybe follow you, buy a CD and try and find a CD player to put it in, and then
way more accessible and way more inviting for people.
For sure. Where was my next question? It's hard to see. My thing is too low. It was, because we were kind of in that write songs to cover thing. I was thinking about another artist that I discovered around the same time as you when I started doing my show, that I put you in a category with only because you're probably about the same age. April Varner, who's really good as well. If you were both playing on the same night, I would go see you. I really love her. But she did something recently that I thought, oh, that would be a really cool opportunity for Olivia. Do you know that she toured with Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox on the recent tour?
That. And actually quite a few modern jazz vocalists have kind of gone in and out of that.
And that's a spot that takes those current songs.
It's another example.
Yes.
I mean, people will go...
Now they'll probably go to her shows. I hope for her, because she's great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't know. I would be curious of the statistics on that, because while it is jazz still, it's promising that you will recognize these songs. I don't know how much that translates to, we'll call just the general public who've never heard jazz stuff. But I mean, I think that's great. I think artists like Loive, who cover Misty and bring back these songs, I think that's great.
And she writes in a new jazz style. Like her stuff is, a lot of it's original too, and it's this unique sounding.
Yeah, to kind of movie-esque, Disney-esque, like singer-songwriter kind of the Golden Hollywood composers vibe.
She's intriguing. I happened to be at a recording of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, and she was the guest via video, and she was just really fun to listen to. So interesting.
So people like that, I love that. Yeah. I'm happy about that.
Olivia Van Goor is my guest today on Acoustic Alternatives at Grove Studios. The latest record is Waiting for Santa. I've been waiting for a third song. What are we doing third?
All right, we're going to do another original.
Okay.
This is the one that I wrote with the pianist Mike Harrison, and we have fun being silly a lot. So I knew Mike was going to be the perfect person to pose this idea to that I had, where I was thinking about how a lot of records have a blues on it, and a lot of blues tunes are dedicated to someone. And I was thinking about if there was a Christmas character that deserved a blues. And one of my favorite movies is Rudolph, And I think the most pitiful character in it has got to be Hermie the elf, who wants to be a dentist instead of an elf. And this is Hermie's Blues. 1, 2, Why do other elves like making toys so much? Does it make them happy, Christmas spirit and such? Why can't I get in it? What makes me so different? Feeling like a misfit again. When every elf is smiling while they tinker away, dreaming of a place where the boss elf doesn't say. Hermie doesn't like it, but toys just ain't the right fit. I know I'll be a dentist someday. Well, I've heard of an island where there's others like me. Toys that boys and girls don't want under their tree. With them I'm not broken, and I don't need to be fixed. You can't fire me, Santa, 'cause I've already quit. This Christmas you won't find us all alone on the shelves, with Rudolph here to guide us. We can all be ourselves. My cold, cold heart is thawing. I think I found my calling. My Christmas blues have come to an end. This Christmas misfit has found a friend. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
The masterful bass playing of Ruben Stump, the beautiful vocals of Olivia Van Goor on Acoustic Alternatives. Hermie's Blues, if I had to pick a favorite of the originals on this record, that is the one. And actually, this is something I do when I listen to a record. I just put it in and I don't look, right? I don't look at this first. I listen first. And I didn't know you wrote that one. Like, it felt like it was from the past. And I was convinced that it was. I forgot that what movie was that in? Like,
Yeah.
That doesn't. Then Olivia wrote that. So great. I love that. The version of One Foot in Front of the Other also. I think that's my other favorite on here. That's such a great interpretation of that.
Thank
a classic.
you.
The ones that we watched growing up with the stop motion animation.
Yes.
So
It
cool
just
stuff.
it's a love letter to my childhood, and all of those movies, including Believe from Polar Express is also on it. Are so
tackled Josh Groban.
Yes.
Good luck with that. Pretty amazing vocal. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, all good. All good. Thanks.
Why a Christmas album now?
I had an idea for a different project that kind of fell through, and I felt the itch to start working on something
The sweater?
for 2025. And I just thought, you know what? I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to write a whole bunch of stuff. What if I do a Christmas album and I write a couple things? I actually only had an idea to write 2 songs, just like my other album. And then I just kept coming with ideas. And that was in January of 2025 of this year. And we recorded in March and April. The main band was in April, I think. But Believe was recorded in March. And at those 3 months, I just kept coming up with ideas and meeting with Ruben about holiday traditions, meeting with Mike, working with Ellie Martin on a song, and then writing a couple of my own and writing lyrics to Shiny Stockings. Everything started to come together in a really nice way. And yeah, I just had to, once I started getting the idea and it really made sense, I just wanted to go for it.
How hard is it to write a Christmas song, though? Because it's very specific. Or maybe it's easier because it's a very specific box, right?
I think it's easier. I think you have to start with a concept. The hardest thing is coming up with a take that isn't already
done.
Exactly. Yeah. So you'll notice I think other than Santa, Did You Get My Letter? And I guess Shiny Stockings, because it's a little flirty of a song. But the other ones aren't very like romantic. It's a lot of just Christmassy, wintry things to sing about, which is a little bit easier to simplify. And
From the radio programmer's perspective, which I can also take, not just the guy talking to you about your record perspective, I can look at this record and go, well, it's October, November. I'm not ready to play Waiting for Santa or Silver Bells or Santa, Did You Get My Letter? But there's always tomorrow. That isn't all that specific to Christmas. And Hermes Blues, I mean, unless you're paying attention specifically to the lyrics, you really don't have to feel like it's Santa's mentioned, but it's like
holiday traditions, mentions Thanksgiving.
Right. So, I mean, it does have some things that fit for those stations like ours that don't really start playing Christmas music until December. If I played it before Thanksgiving, people probably punch me in the face. I don't want that. So.
Yeah, and I was really inspired as well by, I forgot this album when you asked me about Christmas albums, the June Christie album. I'm blanking on the name, but it's got that song, The Merriest, on it that I really love. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's called This Time of Year, or This One, not Wonderful Time of Year, that's a song. But yeah, something about this time of year. And it's a very generic, wintry album. It's not in your face.
It's this time of year. It's not
and there's
Christmas.
No Jingle Bells on the album either, which was on purpose.
Silver Bells, but not Jingle Bells.
No, but yeah, but like no like bells playing.
Right.
I want it to still sound like a jazz record.
Right, and it absolutely does. And you did something on this record. You wrote lyrics for Shiny Stockings, which you taking somebody else's thing and writing a lyric to something you did earlier in the year when you did Mercy, 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 which just blew me away. We talked about that earlier today in the presentation that nobody except you and I was at. But to me, that was going to be, and still should be, a door opener for you and the rest of the country, right? So that version should be at some point taken. And when we were talking about your records, I actually intended to ask you about all of these singles that you've left off of albums. Are you planning on putting out like a singles compilation of things that aren't on records? Because, I mean, you've already gone to the trouble of putting out 4 physical products.
Right.
But then you have this, I've made a collection of them so I can have them all in one spot to play them on the radio. But they aren't physically collected on a...
I know. I have an idea of 2 of the singles are recorded in Akron, Close to You and Human Nature. We're both in Akron at a particular studio, and I always thought, if I do more singles there, maybe I would make a compilation album from that. But the other ones kind of seem a little bit, they all kind of stand alone in a way of I want it to all tell one story.
If you just called it singles collection, no one would go, this doesn't tell the story.
Yeah, well.
They might go, I love all these songs. I wish they were collected somewhere. I mean, that's what I'm saying, but I mean, I'm just one of your fans, right?
I guess I haven't, you're the first person who's asked for that.
Well, okay. I'll tell some other people to ask that. Anybody listening, will you please send emails to Olivia Van Goor? It just seems like a logical step when you've got that many really cool songs that you've recorded that just aren't anywhere. They just live out like any artist who puts out just a single. I forget it's there until I have to put it on something or playlists. People do that too. But
I think to me, I don't know where they'll go, but it was a way for me to release music without having to go through the whole ordeal of making a whole album and printing things and honestly the amount of money. I didn't crowdsource my records, so it's a direct from my savings into a project, and then I wait until the last, like the first record, When the Shadows Fall, that's all sold out, and then the next one it's like half sold out. So my hope is to make this a little cycle of investment, growth. And then the singles are kind of I don't want to wait until a project comes along, but I want to put it out there because I think people would like it, and that's it.
You're working this one at radio. Did you work any of the singles to radio? That's an expense, I know.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I mean, you want people to hear them.
Right.
I know it's a money thing. Jazz is not like you're going to make thousands and millions of dollars. I don't know. There's a few people who do, but it's not our local scene. It's just not how it works. I would love it if that was the case. Like I said, you've got the it factor. You've got the thing that I think people need to hear. So hopefully there's some plan at some point in the future when your audience grows like I think it should grow.
Totally.
Maybe. All right, let's see. What else did I want to talk about? You have been starting to introduce me to some artists along the way. Katie George was one that I think I learned about because of you. You got to do a gig with her.
Yep.
You brought her to America for us. Are you going to bring her in again? Because I was stupid. It did not go to that show. I was like a few months behind.
Oh, man, it was so fun. I mean, I would love to do something with her again. She's busy promoting her Katie George with Strings
Which, it's
record.
not out in America. It's only out in Canada, I think.
Yeah, but she's been touring all over America.
Oh, okay.
In the last couple weeks. I think she's actually in, I saw online, I think she's either in the Northeast or the Northwest. I can't remember right now. But yeah, I mean, that would be great. I love the fact that while there's some venues in Michigan, obviously, that people come to, it's also a stop that isn't already on people's radar, where I have some ideas of bringing some people. If I have contact with them, I think I have the skills to produce a show. I can make it happen. The whole reason why the Katie show happened in that specific, it was in a church in Grosse Pointe, was that all the venues either said no or they were already booked. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to say no to her asking to do a show. So then I produced it myself, and it was really good practice. So then the next time someone is making their way through town, or I see they have a gig in Ohio, maybe they'll want to do something in Michigan together. And yeah, it was so fun.
She's an example. Tiffany Gridiron, I learned about because of you.
Ah, yes.
You just introduced me to yet another artist who, this is not necessarily going to be out before Saturday in video form, but she's playing at the Arc, Danielle Wirtz, who I'm looking forward to hearing more of her music. So maybe with that presenting a show, you do a showcase, like
right?
Olivia Gore and her favorite friends, or something like that. Like it's a way to present some of these artists who maybe that gets a bigger venue involved, because you've got a variety of fan bases to tap into. I'd like to see something like that. I
would love that.
Yeah, an idea.
It's a great idea.
Non-jazz favorites that you sing in jazz style. Are there any, like things that you've turned into jazz songs? I guess kind of like the Scott Bradley Postmodern Jukebox does, but not necessarily that.
I always joke, like, whenever I say, oh, I'm doing a modern song, it's still like a 50-year-old song. So, my one of the songs that's a single that I recorded just because it was an arrangement that everyone loved on live shows was Close to You.
Mm-hmm. Human Nature, too.
Human Nature as well. And, yeah, not really. No.
That could be the answer. There's no is an answer for sure.
Trying to think.
You have some non-performing jobs too, though. Things that you do that are not your performance. You've got on your resume now voice lessons, which is musically related.
Yep. By
the way, can anybody sing? Because I'm pretty sure I can sing, but nobody wants to hear it. Can you make somebody who doesn't sound good sound good?
Only if they're willing.
Okay. I have recorded myself singing to see how bad it is, and it would be embarrassingly bad. Part of a choir, it's fine, because I just blend in with the other basses. Like Ruben and I could sit next to each other. I would just steal his notes because he can sing. But, no one would want to hear a solo from John Bommarito.
I have a whole soapbox that I can hop on if you would like me to about the, I'll call it like the American Idol theory, that it ruined everyone's confidence in singing because they feel like it's all critique, and how we don't, unless you're in church or in a choir, you just don't have practice singing. We don't grow up singing. We grow up, actually, like a fun vocal thing to think about is how a lot of singing is projecting in the front of your face and creating a buzz. That's what the singing that feels really good is. The singing that doesn't feel really good is the tight throat, like squeezing kind of singing. But creating resonance in the front of your face is something that we did immediately when we were born. Because if you think about how long can a baby cry, it's a long time. And they don't cry going, wah, wah. They cry going, wah, wah. And it's all in the front of their face, right? So then you learn to cry and you learn to resonate in the front of your face. And then slowly as you grow up, you never create your voice. You turn it into a lower speaking voice. You are taught to be quiet, and unless you're practicing singing, you kind of are just taught how to push down any of that nice buzzy resonance, good feeling singing. And then when you go to sing, you're using the wrong muscles, and it tightens everything up, and then you're like, I'm so bad. And then everyone's like, yeah, that was pitchy, dog. And then
Thanks, Randy Jackson.
And then you're like, all right, I can't sing. And then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Okay.
So, all right, hopping off my soapbox.
And now I have a new ringtone, you crying like a baby. I'm going to use that. No, I'm not going to do that. This year alone, you've added 2 new things to your resume. I think you're still doing the teaching thing,
Yep.
right? And
Sure am.
executive director.
Yep.
Tell me about these 2 things.
Yeah, okay. So I am the adjunct vocal jazz professor at Hillsdale College. The first teacher to do that position was Sonny Wilkinson.
Ooh.
Then it was passed on to Lori Lefevre, based in Toledo. And then Ellie Martin did it last year. And then she got a really cool gig in South Carolina. And so I was recommended. And now I'm a professor.
So she left us, our regional
Yeah.
music scene?
Yeah, though she will still be returning when she's not in school and whatnot. But yeah, so I got that job and it's been great. I have 16 students and I go once a week. So it's not really taken over too much of my time that I wasn't already spending.
Guaranteed paycheck, though.
Guaranteed paycheck. Just, less worry about when it's gonna end or this and that. Even my adult students, I never know when they're gonna say, yeah, something's come up and I can't do lessons anymore. And then you're just like, well, this thing I thought was regular is not. So it's been really amazing. And also the things that I can get done is I can plan for something. So when you are teaching private lessons with adults or even, whoever, they might stop at any time. So you can't really invest too much time. Where with a student, kind of in this bubble where they're not even a specialty school where they're going to be distracted by internships in a surrounding city. I mean, the surrounding city is Ann Arbor, like an hour and a half away. That's the closest city. Or Kalamazoo, which is like an hour away from there. It's in the middle of Michigan. So there's no leaving. They're all in this area and in this small school. So I just have this guaranteed half an hour every week with them, and I can plan what we're going to do over 12 weeks, which has never been possible, which is very exciting. So I was able to make a plan and execute it, and I'm almost done with the first semester. It's been great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then executive director.
Yes, executive director for Big 3 Swing. They put on the Battle of the Swing Bands. It's going into their 25th year. The person who was doing it before had to pass it on, and I was recommended. It's a long tradition, especially in swing dancing, and it's been really fun to plan a project that's so outside of me, but I still get to be a part of it and obviously meet a lot of people from it and be, a responsible event coordinator where I think of every single thing that's ever annoyed me about an event. I'm like, not going to do that. And I'm going to make sure that the bands that are playing, which this is before November 21st, band submissions are open. If you're in a swing band in Michigan and you would like to be the challenger of the last year's winner, the Stardusters, which the tradition is that there's 2 swing bands, they battle it out. One goes, the other goes, this, that. Swing dancers are dancing, and at the end of the night, they vote by applause, and it's very clear who the winner is. Then the winner gets to play the next year, and so on and so on.
That's cool.
And and so I know I'm gonna make sure I'm clear about this is load-in time, and this is where the green room is, and that just gives me a lot of satisfaction because I get to be a force of good in events.
Congratulations on both of those things.
Thank you.
Well, we've got time for one more song, one more question, one statement.
Great.
So let's do the song.
All right. We're going to do the one of the covers that you mentioned. From Rudolph, it's the song that Clarice sings. It's called There's Always Tomorrow, though in the recording, in the movie, it's a waltz. On the record, you'll notice it's a swung tune in 4, and this one is just me and Ruben on the record, so this is kind of the closest to the record that you'll hear. But I want you to take a solo. Can I have a D? 1, 2, There's always tomorrow for dreams to come true. Believe in your dreams, come what may. There's always tomorrow with so much to do. And so little time in a day. We all pretend dreams to come true. Tomorrow is not far away. There's always tomorrow for dreams to come true. Believe in your dreams, come what may. There's always tomorrow with so much to do and so little time in a day. We all pretend that the rainbow has an end, and you'll be there, my friend, someday. There's always tomorrow for dreams to come true. Tomorrow is not far away. No, tomorrow, oh, tomorrow, tomorrow is not far away.
Johnny Marks tune, There's Always Tomorrow on Acoustic Alternatives. Olivia Van Goor, very special guest, Ruben Stump performing that one. You can find a shorter version of that on
Yep.
Waiting for Santa, the new release. It's a big version right behind you. Hold up the record to the camera over, I don't know, one of the cameras over there. So the big and the small. It's available in both of these formats, digital as well, as of November 1st, correct?
Yep.
Coming out midnight on November 1st. And,
Midnight on
October
Halloween.
31st. Oh, sorry. I got it backwards.
Yep.
So close.
all good.
You're
Once
listening.
Halloween's over,
It's Christmas.
the
All right, I have. There's two questions. I'm going to only do one because I'm essentially out of time on the booking of my studio here. But what does it mean to you, in your opinion, to make it in the music industry?
Aw.
It's a tough
I
one.
feel like I already have, and that's so corny, but it's the approval and collaborations with musicians that I admire that make me feel like a winner. I feel like in the jazz tradition, there's a lot of impressing our colleagues is a form of, trying to not one up each other, but trying to show each other that we got it and this and that.
We got the train. Sorry.
Yay! Believe in what your heart is saying. But anyways, I feel like I especially love the jazz community because it really is all about the music. So even if I don't get a certain venue that calls me back, doesn't call me back, or I've applied for a lot of competitions and never been able to compete or, never gotten to the next stage. I've applied for a lot of things and gotten no's. But the fact that I get to play with someone like Ruben and the mentors that we've talked about and that I feel like they dig what I'm doing, I feel like the queen of the world, the belle of the ball whenever that happens. And it just, it's very like it's like a family. And all of these people, even, the person that wrote the liner notes, Jeff Pedras, I feel so special with what he wrote about my music because I know he means it. And I look up to him and his opinions and just being in this community is so satisfying and makes me happy. So it almost doesn't matter what else happens. I can say to myself, like, hey, someone like, you know, you mentioned Randy. I'm like, someone like Randy Napoleon likes what I'm doing. So who cares?
Yeah.
You know?
Dave Roof did a very, very good job recording this. Dave
Yes.
probably is listening. I think he's checked out the podcast before, and I'm very. There's so many things I love and appreciate about you and admire about you. There's one. Now, there was two, but now we're back down to one because you are not going to say vinyls again because it's not a word. But the only thing, if I have to correct anything in your world that's not perfect about you, is your font size in your emails. If you ever get an email from Olivia, it's so
my
small.
phone, I think.
It's so
I think
small.
it's my phone. I don't know. I
It's-
got to go into my settings. I don't know how to do it.
Let's get let's get web addresses from both of you so people can find out more about both of you.
Yes, my website is www.oliviavangoor.com. That's OLIVIAVANGOOR.
Unfortunately, RubenStump.com was already taken.
What? Really?
So my website is www.rubenstumpmusic.com.
That works.
That works, yeah.
Both of you, thank you so much for sharing your
Thank you
talents
so
with
much,
me.
John. And you're one of those people that when I talk about feeling like I made it, to have someone who knows so much about music and you know, saying all these really amazing things about what I'm doing and it's supportive and everyone who's listening and all that makes me feel like I've made it.
I look forward to being a link on your website.
Of course.
Grove Studios, we are so grateful for them. Again, without them, there is no podcast, and somebody might be barging in the door any minute now because I just heard somebody who has a 7 o'clock booking, and we're running into it. So grovestudios.space is the website, and we are going to be, the next one for sure booked is a sister duo. We'll talk about that as I have it ready to go. But thanks to both of you again.
Thank you, John.
Thank you so much.